This is Susan Wilbanks with blendedinsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic. Hello, bright soul. Thank you so much for joining me on another podcast, and I hope this finds you well. I am going to go right into the topic for today, and that is the Socrates quote, "Know thyself." And what does that really mean? Well, it means that knowledge begins in self-discovery. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is if you know yourself, you know what isn't yours. And so also, how can you really show up for others if you don't really know yourself? So when my daughter and I were in South Carolina last month, we went and visited. We did a little beach vacay. We flew into Savannah and then we drove to South Carolina, and I had rented a car. And when we got there at the counter, they were out of compact cars. That's what I normally get. And so they gave us a Jeep Wrangler, and I thought to myself, excuse me? Anyway, I've never driven a Jeep Wrangler. I don't have anything against them. It's just not really my vibe. So it's very boxy, and it was a newer Jeep Wrangler. I mean, it was nice. And so we took the top down, and then we didn't realize that you can't put the top back unless you're stopped, which I thought was weird because I have a sunroof and I can just close my sunroof even if I'm on the freeway. So anyway, we're driving, we're trying to figure all this out, and it was really funny. And so I guess just the way that those are designed, you feel every single bump on the road. So it's very bumpy. It's not a smooth ride. It's a little rough, and I thought, my Lord, they got me in South Carolina in a Jeep Wrangler, and it had Tennessee plates on it. So I still look like an out-of-towner. In any case, what's so funny about it is it's a little bigger than what I normally drive. And when we would go to park, I don't parallel park. I know myself. So if I have to parallel park, I'm not coming. And I mean that. I'm not coming. I don't know. I grew up in Arkansas. It makes me nervous, especially if it's downtown. I'm not a city downtown crowded person. If it's that kind of vibe, I'm not going. I want to park in a regular parking spot. So, and my daughter, because I actually bought driving lessons for her when she learned how to drive. So I was so nervous to teach her to drive that I just hired a place to teach her to drive. And she did all the hours with it, and they taught her how to parallel park, and it doesn't bother her because she's learned, and I grew up old school. We didn't do that, when I was coming up. I don't even, it was so long ago. In any case, so I'm in this big Jeep, and, and my daughter is used to driving. She drives a lot, and we're trying to park at the hotel, and I'm maneuvering this big old Jeep. It's not that big. It's just the way that it is so boxy, and you can feel every bump. And I kept pulling in crooked. And what's so funny about it is then my daughter would go, Mom, come on, be for real. I'm within the lines. I'm just crooked. And so then when I would back up and try again, I would pull in the exact same way. And so we tried it like this happened almost every single time we would get back to the hotel. And also the parking spaces were weird. They were on a strange angle, and there wasn't a lot of space in there. It was just a little bit clunky. So anyway, it was so funny because I know myself, and I know how we get patterns. I've been driving a long time. We all have patterns of behavior, and it was hilarious. And so we would get out of the Jeep and look at each other and just bust out laughing. I thought someone's driving by or walking by in the parking lot. Like, there goes that Jeep Wrangler person in their dumb Tennessee plates that parked crooked again. I was within the lines though, people. I was within the lines, but just a little bit crooked. In any case, I know the way that I am with driving and with parking. I know myself really, really well. And so it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me when we can laugh about the things that I do. And the other thing is we can be a little clumsy. I can be a little clumsy sometimes, and my daughter's the same way. So anytime we fumble or we stumble over something, I know myself. It does not offend me. It's hilarious. So we laugh about it. And so when you know yourself, when someone says something about you and you know it's not you, so you don't get attached to it. And the way that we get to know ourselves is we do things to actually connect within. So for me, I started this process by trying new things, trying things that I've never tried before. And if I'm drawn to it and it's not dangerous, it's not going to hurt anyone, I'm just going to try it. If I'm curious about it, then I need to find it. I need to find out for myself whether or not that's something that I enjoy. And I'm doing that continually. And really having a good understanding of my own strengths and weaknesses and being open to feedback from safe people. Because some people, they're not really safe. Maybe they're jealous or they're vindictive or they're just ugly. And me being clairvoyant and just with the work I do, I can feel that energy anyway. So I'm not going to listen to someone. I'm also not going to listen to someone. If I don't want a life like theirs, they're not qualified to speak into my life. And that's kind of the way that I navigate advice and things like that, because someone below you usually is not going to be able to up-level you unless it's from a position of, please listen to me because this is a mistake I made and I don't want you to go down that road. And you can feel the difference, and I can feel the difference too. And getting to know, what do you like and dislike, not what other people have told you, not what society has programmed you, not what you think you should like or dislike, but honestly, what you legitimately like and dislike. And you don't have to share these with other people. You can just know this when only you know how you truly feel. So, and a lot of times people aren't safe to share with, because people that haven't done their own healing work, that aren't meeting themselves, are uncomfortable with someone that's going there often. So when you're on the healing journey, I mean, for me, I keep it very privately. I don't share, even when I'm getting downloads and insights, I don't tell really anyone. There's a very select few people that I may occasionally share with if I'm feeling led to share, but for the most part, it's between me and my higher self, and I'm just following my own intuition. And then you want to really get to know what you prioritize. What do you value? I value freedom. I value authentic connection. I value privacy. I value my space. I value my private time. And when you know what you prioritize and value, you can align your life in a way that supports that. And the other thing is, like, what are you personally wanting to work toward and achieve? You know, I've been on this, I'm always on a health and fitness journey, but I've been working with a coach, and I have I'm trying to build muscle. I am building muscle. I'm not trying to, I'm actually building muscle. So my goal was to get stronger and to have more muscle definition. And so the coach that I'm working with is like, well, the way that we do that is by losing more body fat. And so I don't have anyone in my circle that is a gym rat like me and that watches what they eat like me. I don't have anyone in my circle that does the work I'm doing in all areas of life. Like, I've got some healing friends. I don't have any gym rat friends. I've always been on that train by myself, which is fine. It's something that I have to do as an energy healer, and I would do it anyway. I mean, I'm just wired that way. I use this body, I live in it, and I don't understand why you would not want to take care of that. For me, it just I don't understand that. So I do. In any case, so, I'm building muscle and I'm losing fat, and I got down, not on purpose, just because I'm gaining weight and we were doing a calorie deficit, but I got down smaller than my daughter, and she's 19, like on the scale weight. And it was really interesting because people around me, female people around me, would start making undercutted comments, and I could feel it wasn't being from a position of being kind and helpful. It was a position of jealousy, and I could feel it. I can feel that vibe, and I feel great. And I look probably the best I've ever looked as an adult, as a woman who's in menopause, where I have the muscle definition. I'm building muscle. My body is strong. And from strangers, not from the people that are close to me, I mean, I get the most amazing feedback, even from just people in passing or on the street, like, oh my gosh, you look so strong, or you look so toned, or you look so fit. And then the people closest to me, are you trying to get that skinny? Yes, actually I am. And thank you for your unwelcome, jealous comment. But I'm rubber, you're glue, what we talked about the other day. But it's because there's a part of them that they don't want to do the work. And so instead of being inspired by what I'm doing, they want to cut it down. And Yeah, I've had a couple of them. I even had like a healer friend that says, "You're not going to get real bodybuilder looking, are you?" Actually, I am. And thank you for your unwelcome, jealous comment because it hit me wrong. It's like, listen, I have this body and I get to do what I want with it as long as it's in alignment with my higher soul and with my path. I get to choose what I eat. I get to choose when I'm lifting weights. I get to choose what I'm allowing in my mind. And, and these are from people that are not eating well and they're not exercising and they're not taking care of their body. And so that happens. And for me, it's just my progress is making them feel a little bit irritable, right? And then I notice, even in passing, I was talking about this with a friend of mine. I'm going to Orange Theory Mind in my business. Sometimes I get like snotty looks and just unfriendly mannerisms. And the thing is like on the inside, I haven't changed. Like my body has changed because I'm working toward it, but I'm the same person. And it just goes to show you, because I know myself and I know what I'm doing and I know who I am and I know the work and I know what's not mine. So when people throw that stuff at me, it doesn't penetrate because I know that I look great. I know that I feel great. I'm humble about it, but I've worked for this. This isn't like I didn't just wake up like this. This has been years in the making, and I'm still progressing toward what I want. I'm always going to be progressing toward what I want. There's always going to be a new level. And as you're climbing to those levels, not everyone's meant to go with you. Some people won't understand where you're at, and they don't need to. It's not their journey, it's yours. And for what it does for me is it just helps me to learn a new side of myself. So I'm like, well, this is interesting. My physical body has changed. My soul is continuing to develop. I'm doing my heartic yoga practices and I'm getting a new awareness. And because my physical body is changed, now I'm experiencing a different energy from people that I wouldn't experience before. That's interesting. So on a soul level, I get to experience something new that I haven't experienced before, especially because I'm in my 40s. I'm in menopause. I'm done with perimenopause. I'm in menopause. so I'm in that level. So all these things are shifting and changing, and there's something new to learn. And so I get to know a different level of myself because this work is never done. So what I liked 5 years ago, I may not like now. What I didn't like 5 years ago, I may like now. It's okay to change. You don't have to get gridlocked into to an idea of what you used to be or what someone else thinks you used to be or what you should be or who you are. You get to choose. And that's the beautiful thing about this path. The one thing, though, is to keep in mind is like when you choose to change and grow or a new path, it may be that some people don't get to come with you. There's a constant shedding. I feel like how snakes shed their skin. I feel like that's what I'm constantly doing that. I'm constantly shedding the old to rebirth into something new. But I can't do any other thing because that's what I came here to do. So trying to stay stuck and to make myself small and to dim my light, to be around people that don't shine so brightly, I can't do that. It's like trying to shove, something that doesn't fit into a small container into that container. It will explode. I can't do it. I can only be who I am. And who I am is someone who came here to continually experience, grow, develop, evolve, and then share those things with other people in hopes of inspiring them. But if they're not inspired, that's okay. They can find someone else that inspires them, or they cannot and then just go be successful somewhere else. I don't care. I just have to live who I'm supposed to be and walk this path. And you do too, because you'll notice when you try not to do that, you feel terrible. It doesn't feel good. All we can do is be our authentic self. And the more that you get to know yourself, the easier it becomes to fully embody who you are. So let's go into a healing. You can uncross your arms and legs and focus on your breathing. Okay, and so it is. And as always, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you have an amazing week. Take care. Bye-bye.